we're working at local clubs and in potentially involved in coaching or on boards or committees.
Yeah.
So what are we doing at a local level, or what's the best thing we can do at a local level? And like we've said, we don't want to stop football. You love football. You love sport. You love all sport. You're a sport lover. But we want to make sure that we're minimising the risk of these things happening to people. We want to make sure that concussions in themselves are managed appropriately, that players return safely. But also, is there anything we can do from a training perspective? Because this is what it sounds like we're alluding to, that kids are going to training, doing markers up or scrimmages, etc. There's been some talk about maybe limiting contact to 15 minutes a week or eliminating contact completely until 14. So what's the evidence and science saying around that as well? Yeah,
so for mitigating CTE risk, the data shows that if you have modified sports and not banning sport, but modifying sport to non-contact versions until the age of 14, you basically take out, 8 to possibly 10 years of potential contact, repetitive contact, which significantly reduces the risk of CTE. And we've seen that at the brain bank too. So the brains that we see with CTE, their histories show they started full contact at 6 or 7 years of age. Those who started at 15 or 16 years of age, and we have their brains for other reasons, don't show CTE. They might show some damage, like white matter axonal damage, glial cell damage, whatever. So there might be some wear and tear, but it's not CTE. We're clearly seeing that sort of evidence coming through worldwide as well. And so, the question that we have to think about and address is, are we politically strong enough to modify sport for kids? They still get to learn, and this is my argument, is that they still get to learn all the fundamental motor skills: running, catching, evading, changing direction, kicking, throwing, psychological resilience on dealing with team members and winning and losing. They just don't have to have the incidental contact the whole time. And so, we still see across the board examples of people who come into the sport later still becoming elite professional athletes. And if we just use football example, we see a lot of players coming in, starting football at mid-teens rather than at 6 or 7, winning premierships at maybe in their late 20s rather than in their early 20s. We don't see retirements at 20, 21 years of age of players emotional because they can no longer play the sport they love, but they can't even go down and play a kick-to-kick with their mates for fear of another brain injury. And we see across the board as well that there is a change now around specialisation of sport to more general in order to have longevity in those sports. We don't want kids retiring, and then we're going off on a different track here, but we don't want kids stopping sport at 14 or 15 years of age because they're sick of it because they've done it already for 10 years. So that's the sort of stuff that we really need.
Do you feel that, so I run an Auskick program at our local club. Their game days, I see under 8s, 9s and 10s. Like in the AFL, do you feel like they're moving towards this? Because it feels like that to me at the ground. Like you've got non-competitive, under 10s down, competitive, so tackling and all that is only introduced in the AFL world, after it's not the 14.
No.
Is there, and there seems to be a movement, a more risk-averse movement in sports. Some sports I imagine are harder to introduce that to, right? I imagine rugby and tackling, where it's the core of the game, might be harder. But are you seeing that there is a shift towards that?
It's sport by sport. It seems to be possibly even association by association. I've done seminars where, you have one association say, we do that, and some next to them at the seminar looks at them and goes, oh, we don't do that. So it's doesn't appear to be consistent. But even like, for example, rugby, where, it's a core of the sport. Well, we can still do touch football, touch rugby, so that takes out. Like, it's amazing when, would you hit your kid in the head 5 times in the year?
Not intentionally.
No way. No.
Yet we still seem to be okay with kids going out on the weekends
And
and getting hit 10 times
Yeah.
every weekend.